Hey guys, welcome back. Say Less Footy podcast. Special little video clip podcast this week. It's not the debrief, it's not the tips. They are also up. If you haven't checked them out yet, go ahead and check them out. But this one, I specifically want to talk about a position on the field, and that is hookers or dummy half, whatever you want to call it. I think it's become one of the most, if not the most important position on the field. Just the way of the rule changes over the last couple of seasons, the six again rule, and some other little tweaks that have happened. I mean, you're a forward, but you still have to sort of have other sort of facets to your game. You're tackling all game. You've got to set up plays. It helps to have a little bit of a kicking game, a running game. You're moving the team around to help the halfback and the 5'8" set up the back line for different plays that you want to run. You need to move your forwards around. Like the hooker is becoming probably the most important position on the field. I think if we look at over the last couple of seasons, some of the rule change, we noticed that the 13 really became sort of like more of a ball player, and I think the nines have always sort of been that a little bit, but I think the nines have to do a lot more. And then you also give the fact that they're probably tackling like the top tackler in your team. We're just seeing like so many. This the development of so many hookers, like especially this season, like you can see your top tier, your origin players, your players for Australia. Harry Grant, number nine, about 5 years old, probably one of the elite players of the game. Um, he's got a great running game. He's got a good passing game. He understands the game of rugby league, and he has a really, really good footy brain. Happy Coruscant, like playing for the bottom of the ladder Tigers, but still just does some things like he's what he's brought to the Tigers is absolutely fantastic. New South Wales hooker, like Appy is just unbelievable the way he moves his forwards around, moves the whole team around, and I think he's been really, really fantastic. Damien Cook, the old beach sprinter, absolutely fantastic for the Rabbitohs and just over, multiple seasons now. Like he's speed out of dummy half, the way that he sort of moves his team forward is absolutely crucial to the Rabbitohs' success. You know, they're sort of the big ones. Obviously, the big move in the offseason was Brandon Smith to the Roosters, which maybe hasn't sort of come to fruition. But as I say to everyone, football is a business. It's like you can't go from a company or a business that you work for, a footy team that you've been a part of for so many years, and just not a lot of people can walk straight in and just sort of merge the same sort of relationships and connections that they have at their previous club. It's people can't do that with their place of work. It takes a little bit of time. I think Brandon Smith will be good for the Roosters over time, but yeah, I think maybe next season we'll see a bit better of Brandon Smith. He's sort of been sharing with Jake Turpin, who's also sort of come out of the Broncos system. Turpin's been solid. Um, Basically, I can go through every single one of the hookers for the whole NRL. Sort of some are playing 80 minutes, some are sort of swapping it. But I think what we've seen the rise of this season is a lot of I've spoken about Harry, I've spoken about Cookie, I've spoken about Appy, Brandon Smith. They're the sort of elite one, and obviously Reece Robson got his start in New South Wales this season as well. The top end, but let's look at all the other hookers that have really stood out this year. And I think a very unsung hero is for Manly is Lachlan Croker. I think he's been absolutely huge, and the amount of tackles he makes, the work that he does, like you want that kind of guy in your team. He'll tackle all day, he'll run all day, he'll put his head in where he shouldn't. Like Croker is just a good old fashioned footy player, and he's really fantastic for the Seagulls, and I think they need to hang on to him. I think he's been fantastic. Uh, Massive, massive year over to the Warriors now. Wade Egan. Wade Egan is been huge. I think he's missed a couple of games with like injury or concussion, but he's just oh it, the Warriors are doing really well. Not just because of Sean Johnson and Webster and just the way like Wade Egan, the way he's running, getting his forwards and moving them around the park and sort of even some of the passing and sort of runs that he's doing himself. Like Wade Egan is I reckon I would call him one of the elite sort of hookers this year. It's hard when you play for a New Zealand team to sort of, be in the frame for like Origin and stuff. But yeah, Wade Egan's been absolutely massive this year. I think he's fantastic. Jeremy Marshall King from the Dolphins coming out of the Bulldog system. He's gone to another level again. Can you imagine Jeremy Marshall King in like a Panthers or like a Storm system? I think he'd be absolutely fantastic. Yeah, James K has been huge. And next season with the Dolphins, he's going to be even better. He sort of missed a fair amount of games with injury this season, and I think he's going to be even better next season. For the Broncos, Billy Walters, Billy the Kid, unsung hero. He has been huge for the Broncos. Like, obviously, you got the little general Adam Reynolds and Reese Walsh, the X Factor out the back, but Billy Walters has been huge. He'll just get in and do any job, and he's absolutely flourished under his dad. Like, there's some half decent hookers coming through the Broncos system that he's keeping out, but I feel like he's a team first mentality sort of player. He'll run all day. He'll tackle all day. He was in the Tigers system, and he did get a couple of games when he was playing for the Tigers. And I think he did really well. He played. He was playing in the halves then because the Tigers have just had halves problems forever. But yeah, Billy Billy Walters absolutely huge. Where else we going? Over to the Knights. Phoenix Crossland has came in as a utility to sort of cover his injured captain. What's his name? Brayley. And wow, just he's fit into that spine alongside Hastings, Ponga, and Gamble so well, and he's a big reason the Knights are doing as well as they are. Just strong running, just good passing. Yeah, just really good. Jacob Little has moved across to the Dragons, and I think he's done really well. I know the Dragons are down the bottom of the table, but at the start of the season, like Hook would have him sort of play half the game, and Moses Mbai playing half the game, and sort of in and out of the team. Like now, Little is sort of playing most of the game, like pretty much 80 minutes. He's got speed, he's got a good pass. Like at the Tigers, he was behind Roy Farah. Then he had a couple of ACL injuries. Like this season is Jacob Little finally finding his feet, and he's been fantastic. Zach Wolford sort of found his way in front of the other players in the Raiders system, Starling especially, and we also just on the weekend just gone past, we've seen Adrian Trevelyan come through and the Raiders. I think he's going to be. I think there's big raps on this kid, and he's going to be something. But Zach Wolford plays exactly like his dad. I think he just bleeds green, like coming through that Raider system, and he's just a no nonsense player. I think he's been really good. Chris Randall for the Titans, pick up from the Knights. It's been absolutely huge for the Titans this season. Just just getting in, getting it done, just giving some a little bit more options out of there. I think the obviously he's played the bulk of the season with Sammy Verrills getting injured in one of the first or second games, but now he's sort of keeping him out and sort of sharing the responsibilities. And Mitch Kenny, everyone thought, oh, Appy going to the Tigers, not having Appy at the Panthers. Mitch Kenny's done an absolutely huge job, and this Sonny Luke kid has been knocking on the door all season, and Mitch Kenny's just been so solid. He's just been keeping him out. So, absolutely huge, Mitch Kenny. Who have I missed? Blake Brayley for the Sharks. Really good. He's probably his best game of the season was his 100th game. I believe it was his 100th this season. Brennan Hands, wow, he's playing absolutely fantastic. The Eels have brought Joey Lussick in last game. I don't know why they brought him in. I think Hands has been fantastic. Josh Hodgson been in and out of the team injured all season. Um, you know, just looking over that whole list of, hookers, and there's probably, a few more sort of youngsters coming through that have sort of got their shot here and there. Like obviously Talon Silva from the Tigers has got a bit of a taste of NRL this season with Appy being out. Jake Simpkin sort of playing second fiddle to Appy as well. Um, you know, there's a hooker with the Rabbitohs called Peter Mamazoulis has sort of had a couple of sort of little stints in there when Cookie's been out of the team. There's a lot of really good hooking talent coming through at the moment. It's a very important position now the amount of tackling, the speed of the game. Obviously, if you can get quick play the balls, players falling on their fronts, getting out quick play the balls, having a good hooker is absolutely essential. Good sort of service as well, not throwing sort of terrible passing, just hitting your halfback, your 5'8", right on the chest. Like I really think that the hooker, I'll say it again, has become one of the most important sort of positions on there. If you've got a hooker that can kick, wow, you're absolutely, it's another option that sort of takes the pressure off your halves as well. So, you know, absolutely just elite players in our game. I think the gold standard is Harry Grant at the moment, probably just ahead of Appy. But wow, there's just so much talent in there, and just exciting for the future of NRL. I don't think that we're going to have a shortage of hookers anytime soon. I think what we experience at the moment is a shortage of halves. But yeah, that hooking position, I think, you know, is a real good specialist position that a lot of people are taking to now. So, look, that's my 2 cents on hookers. I just, been thinking about it all week, and I'm just loving what I'm seeing all season with just absolutely all that talent that I've just listed, from Lachlan Croker to Wade Egan, James Kay and Billy Walters. They're probably my four standouts underneath, your big three or four sort of origin and international sort of hookers as well. So I think we're gonna see, those sort of guys maybe get a sniff around origin next season. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think. If you really think, like me, the hookers really how important it is in the modern game, or who's really stood out for you this season in the hooking role. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, pop on over, watch the debrief from round 23, and tune in for my tips for round 24 coming at you real soon. Thanks for listening. Say less. Peace out.